Yo, 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 welcome to another episode. GMAK, the Boiler Man. Out here just doing what we do, man. Showing up every day, giving you the best content that we can, having discussions about things, especially as it pertains to, I like to talk a lot about blue collar things, blue collar style businesses. We obviously get into plumbing and heating, which is our specialty. That's where we kind of show up. We've talked about the scarceness of, new guys coming into the businesses. We've talked about the business in general. We've talked about how to help you build your business. All different types of angles and things that we've come across inside of our own network. And we're going to continue to do so, man, because you know what? At the end of the day, we got to give the people what they want. And I've said this on other videos, but if you ever come across a topic or something you'd like us to discuss, please drop a comment below. You know what I mean? It don't hurt you. It definitely helps the algorithm. Helps us being bumped up to the top, because at the end of the day, we're just taking time out of our day to provide whatever information you need. Don't mean we're the experts, but I will do some research before I come on here and spew. And a lot of the stuff I talk about is off the cuff. It's off the heart. And it's just based on my knowledge of the things I've come across. I'm not talking about facts or anything like that. I'm literally talking about my experiences and trying to provide my experiences to you in hopes that it'll help you grow or grow your business. Or if you're not a business owner, it doesn't matter. Just grow inside of the business that you're working in. Because at the end of the day, it's always about how you show up. With all that being said, if you're here and you're new to the channel, or you've been here before but you haven't subscribed, come on, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, get that algorithm popping. That's what it's all about for us. Again, we take a lot of time out of our day to produce as much content for you as we possibly can, and we try to bring you the best information we possibly can. So on this one, though, I know this seems like such a simple thing, but especially in my business and maybe HVAC, things of that nature, I notice the guys really go to memory a lot. And there are a lot of things that I memorize inside of my own business. There's no doubt about it, because there's so much information. And I'm sorry, as much as our minds can comprehend and absorb, there is a limit to how many things you can slam inside your brain. So just for a second, hear me out. Follow along with me and tell me once again in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying. So I am somebody who learned from some old school people. But when I came into the business, I remember guys talking to me about reading. Read manuals, read this book, read that book. There's two things with that. One, I wholeheartedly 1000% agree. Even if you work for somebody, it's up to you. Nobody can ever tell you what to do. I tell my guys the same thing, but what they do on their personal time is not something that I control, right? But I do advise them, and I do provide literature to them. We do a lot of steam heating and a lot of hydronic heating in our business, so I'm a big Dan Holohan guy. Dan Holohan books really help me in my growth. They're still like basically my encyclopedia for heating that I go to constantly. I carry, if I had my book on me, which I don't, you'll see just post-it notes in there and all types of notes, and the cover's ripped off of it already. Like, I use it that much. So I have bought my guys, as they come in and stay for a period of time and they show that they want to learn, I buy them a set of these books. I'm not going to get into that. That's not the purpose of this video, but I just want to say that literature is very important. But with that being said, it's also very, very important to understand the language of the business that you're in. If you're in the electrical field, if you're in the plumbing field, if you're in the construction field, it doesn't matter what field you're in. Every business has its own language, right? We're not talking about English or Spanish or French or anything like that, but verbiage is very important. So initially, I remember my father handed me books to read when I first came in the business, but it's like reading another language for me. So I speak English, and I don't speak Spanish, so reading Spanish, it would be like that to me, where I could probably make out the words, but I don't understand what the hell I'm reading. So first and foremost is really getting to understand the verbiage in the business that you're in. It's very, very, very important. I tell my guys this all the time. We deal with a lot of plumbing stuff. We deal with a lot of wires. We deal with a lot of language. So it's a lot of language you have to learn. And then when you read the books, that language will transfer. But with all that being said, now you're a full-blown mechanic, you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're an HVAC guy, all of the above, it does not matter. Manuals. As you can see, this is a manual on a FireEye E110 relay. Okay, this is something that we work on often. As you can see, I have my highlighter in here. Why? Because even after 15 plus years in the business, even after the amount of knowledge I have on this relay, there's still more to know. On top of that, when you're on the job, don't be afraid to open this up. This doesn't make you stupid. This doesn't make you less of a mechanic. This doesn't make you not qualified to do the job. On the contrary, this is the thing that's going to help you figure out. Nobody can memorize this and 4,000 other manuals. And it bothers me to no end to get on the job site. And I've had it happen to me where I show up where my guys are at and they're questioning and they're not sure. And then I show up to the job and you think I have some magical answer for them? No. I'm like, yo, is there a manual on this job? Because no one even thinks to go to it. I never really understood why. A lot of the information you need, especially when you're working on specific equipment, is going to be inside of these manuals, right? So for us, we work on natural gas. We work on number 2 oil. But on the natural gas side, if you're working on a particular equipment, it's going to give you what type of pressures do I need? What kind of manifold pressures do I need? What am I looking for from a combustions perspective? What's my CO2 going to look like? What's my O2 going to look like? What are my parameters? And it's not that it's going to give you the answer to the problem, but a lot of times you got to remember, especially in all these different types of equipment, and especially in our business, there's probably been 40 different sets of hands working on the equipment over the time, a lifespan, unless it's brand new equipment, over the lifespan of the equipment that's on our jobs, there's been 40 people working on it. So sometimes you have to dial it all the way back to scratch. How else am I supposed to do that without guidance? Okay, so I'm a big proponent of manuals. Please, guys, stop trying to memorize every thing. You have phones, right? We have phones. So I'm big with this too. I have a lot of notes, lots of notes. No one's above notes. No one's above knowledge. Nobody knows everything. I don't give a shit how good you are. Now, there are obviously some mechanics that are better than others. There's nobody going to question that. I find myself to be a good mechanic, but there are mechanics I know that have more knowledge than I do, and I'm okay with that. But I'm also understanding that that means I have more learning to do. And what's better to do to learn than read, especially once I know the language. Like, I understand the language fluently, the business language, the system language, yes. Answers to problems, maybe not. But now that I have the language, I can revert back to my manuals, I can read through them, and I can understand them. And I get it. Sometimes you're on the job, pressure situations, maybe you have multiple jobs on your, on your docket for the day, and you're kind of feeling like a deer in headlights, and you're trying to scroll quickly for the answer. But a lot of times, if you just go to the index on these things, just like you were taught in middle school, you can scan over to the thing you need. And then sometimes you do have to just take a break, man. Put your phone down, take a couple of minutes, flip through, look for what you need, take the time, stop rushing through. I guarantee you that if you follow along, you will become a better mechanic. Stop with the ego, man. Ego is going to get you left behind. The guys that go and are willing to open up a manual and prove to themselves that they don't know everything are the ones that succeed the most, in my opinion. And I had an old timer teach me this because I was that way. For years, I used to show up on the job, act like I knew everything, and the guy that's on the job for 40 years is busting out manuals right in front of me. And I was like, look at this guy, he needs a manual. Here I am at 42 years old, running my own company. Here I am reading through a manual, highlighting, making notes to myself inside of here. And this is a relay that I've worked on for 15 years. So the premise behind this is just to say how important this is. And I know this is something that seems so arbitrary and stupid, but it's such a big tool. It's such a great tool to use for the growth of you as a mechanic. And I don't know who wouldn't want to grow more. Like, why would you want to be stuck in some antiquated way of doing things? This is antiquated, but it's the best way. There is no other way. Yes, you can look on your phone. Sometimes, like, this manual probably exists online. I just happen to be on a job and I grabbed one because I'm old school. I like to have the paper. I like to be able to sit on my couch. I don't want to look through a small phone. I'd rather be, read right through it. It's right here, big print. Like I said, I have my highlighter, and now this is a book I can take with me and go back when I need something. So I hope you got something from this video, man. I know it seems so simple, but it's something I notice so many people choose not to do. I don't get it. Don't make that be you. Be the guy who busts this thing out so you can have the answers. Because the answer, 90% of the time, is inside of this book. Now, with all that being said, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you want to talk about it, I don't give a shit. That's what this is all about. That's the fun of social media. That's the fun of us taking our time to come on here, shoot videos for you. Drop a comment below. Let's have a discussion. Don't be afraid. I ain't afraid. I'm out here talking to you every day. I talk how I talk. I bring whatever. This is my knowledge. Again, this is not... I'm sure somebody out there has maybe better videos. I don't know. I don't think so. The content's great over here. You know what I mean? You're in the right place. If you've watched this far, drop a comment below, man. Let's have a conversation about it. We appreciate you. We love you. We hope you have an amazing day. Keep kicking ass. Keep building your business. Peace.